Hello everyone, let's be honest. The internet can be a terrifying hellscape of misinformation and outright deception. Luckily for you, that's where we come in. We're your friendly neighborhood scam busters, here to arm you with the knowledge you need to navigate this digital minefield. Think of us as your highly opinionated, slightly cynical, but ultimately well-meaning guide through the murky world of scams. Over the next few chapters, we'll be diving deep into the top 10 tips to help you avoid becoming just another statistic. We'll be covering everything from identifying those too good to be true offers that are definitely too good to be true, to understanding the importance of protecting your personal information like it's a signed photo of Danny DeVito, valuable and not something you want falling into the wrong hands. So buckle up, grab your metaphorical scam detecting magnifying glass, and let's get this show on the road. Alright, let's start with the basics, shall we? Remember, if something seems off, it probably is. If you get an unexpected phone call from someone claiming to be from the IRS demanding immediate payment in iTunes gift cards, well, that's about as fishy as a trout wearing a monocle. The same goes for emails or texts from unknown senders. Don't click on suspicious links or download attachments that could be harboring more viruses than a petri dish at a medical school. It's like playing digital Russian roulette. And trust us, you don't want to find out what's in the chamber. And while we're at it, let's talk about online messages. Be wary of strangers sliding into your DMs like they own the place, especially if they're promising you riches or claiming to be a long-lost relative. Spoiler alert, they're not. Remember, legitimate organizations won't contact you out of the blue demanding personal information or money. So, trust your gut, and when in doubt, just hang up, delete, or block. Your sanity will thank you for it. Let's talk about something near and dear to all of us, our personal information. Now, I'm not talking about your favorite brand of mayonnaise or your secret recipe for the world's most mediocre potato salad. I'm talking about the really important stuff, your social security number, bank details, passwords, PINs, the digital equivalent of the keys to your kingdom. Think of your personal information as a prized possession, like a signed photo of Danny DeVito riding a unicorn. You wouldn't just hand that out to anyone on the street, would you? No, you'd guard it with your life, or at least with a healthy dose of skepticism and common sense. The same goes for oversharing on social media. Look, we get it. You're proud of your cat's uncanny ability to cough up hairballs shaped like Winston Churchill. But resist the urge to share every detail of your life online, including sensitive information like birthdays, addresses, or your mother's maiden name, unless of course, her maiden name is something delightfully ridiculous like Buttercup Thunderpants. Remember, scammers are like raccoons in a dumpster. They're always on the lookout for tasty morsels of information to exploit. So be vigilant, be discerning, and for goodness sake, keep your Danny DeVito memorabilia safe. Alright, let's talk about due diligence, which is a phrase that makes it sound much more boring than it actually is, because this is basically detective work, people. Someone offering you a deal that sounds too good to be true. It probably is, but don't just take their word for it. Before you hand over any of your hard-earned cash or even just your email address, do a little digging. Look up the company, the charity, even that guy in your DMs claiming to be a Nigerian prince. Although, spoiler alert, he's probably not. Check for reviews, official websites, anything that screams legitimacy. Because here's the thing, legitimate businesses, they want you to find that information. They've got nothing to hide. Scammers, on the other hand, they're like cockroaches in a dirty kitchen. They scatter when you shine a light on them. So be the light, people. Be the goddamn sun. And while you're at it, take a peek at common scams in your area. Knowledge is power, and knowing the latest tricks these grifters are using is like having a superpower. It's the mental equivalent of wearing a garlic necklace to ward off vampires. Only instead of garlic, it's facts. And instead of vampires, it's people who want to steal your identity and drain your bank account. Now, sometimes, despite your best efforts at internet sleuthing, something might still feel off. And that, my friends, is your gut talking. And much like when your gut tells you not to trust that gas station sushi, you should probably listen to it. Scammers, you see, they are creatures of habit. They rely on the same tired tactics, the same flashing neon signs that practically scream, "Scam alert." First up, urgency. They love to pressure you, to make you feel like you've got to act now or miss out on the deal of a lifetime. But here's a news flash. Legitimate businesses don't operate on FOMO. Then there's the too good to be true flag. This one's a classic. Free money, prizes you never entered to win, a timeshare in a country you didn't even know existed? Yeah, probably not. Remember, if it sounds like something out of a fever dream, it probably is. And finally, let's talk about payment methods, specifically unusual ones. If someone asks you to pay with gift cards, cryptocurrency, or a wire transfer for a random online purchase, run like the wind. These are all methods that are almost impossible to trace, which is great for criminals, but not so much for you. Look, we all love the internet. It's a magical place where you can order a pizza at 3 a.m., argue with strangers about politics, and watch cats do inexplicably weird things, all from the comfort of your own home. But it's also a haven for scammers, lurking in the digital shadows, waiting to pounce on unsuspecting victims. That's why it's crucial, absolutely crucial, to make your online presence about as inviting as a maximum security prison. First line of defense. Passwords. Don't be basic. Use a combination of letters, numbers, and symbols that would make a cryptographer weep with joy. And for the love of all that is holy, enable two-factor authentication. Yes, it's an extra step. Yes, it can be mildly annoying. But it's also like having a security guard stationed outside your digital front door, asking anyone who tries to enter, "Do you have a reason to be here, or are you just trying to steal all of Brian's meticulously curated cat memes?" And speaking of security, let's talk about updates. We know they're the digital equivalent of getting a root canal. But they're also vital to keeping your devices and software safe from the latest threats. Think of it like this. Would you rather spend 10 minutes updating your computer or 10 hours trying to undo the damage from a nasty virus? Lastly, a word on public Wi-Fi. It's convenient, sure, but it's also about as secure as a screen door on a submarine. If you must use it, for the love of all that is good and pure, use a VPN. Think of it as a digital invisibility cloak, shielding your precious data from the prying eyes of cybercriminals. Alright, now let's talk about trust. You know that thing your parents told you to be careful with? Turns out it applies to the internet too. If someone calls claiming to be from your bank, or let's say the IRS, don't just hand over your life savings. First, hang up the phone. I know, radical, right? Then, find the official contact information for the company or agency. Don't just use the number they gave you. That's like trusting a wolf to tell you where to hide the sheep. Call them directly and ask about the supposed issue. Chances are they'll have no idea what you're talking about, and if they ask for verification codes sent to your phone, run. Seriously, run like a cheetah who just stole a gazelle from a pride of lions. Because those codes are the keys to your digital kingdom. Giving them away is like handing a stranger your wallet and saying, "Here, buy yourself something nice." Now, let's talk about the thing scammers love most, your money. Protecting it online should be like defending a medieval fortress, not like leaving your front door open while you go on vacation. First things first, whenever possible, use a credit card for online purchases. They offer much better fraud protection than debit cards. Think of it this way. If someone steals your debit card info, they're draining your account directly. With a credit card, it's more like they are maxing out your annoying friend's credit card. Speaking of friends, make a habit of checking your bank and credit card statements regularly. You know, like you actually care what's happening with your finances. Look for any transactions you don't recognize. If you see something fishy, report it immediately. Because remember, in the world of online fraud, silence is not golden. It's basically handing the thief a blank check. Alright, let's talk about some of the most common scams out there. Because much like bad romantic comedies, knowing the tropes can save you a lot of grief. First up, we have phishing. This is where scammers send fake emails or texts pretending to be from a legitimate company. You know, like your bank, a social media platform, or even your long-lost uncle. They'll try to trick you into clicking a link or downloading an attachment that infects your device with malware or steals your personal information. If you get an email that seems even slightly off, don't click anything. Then there are investment scams. These are like those get-rich-quick schemes your weird uncle keeps falling for. They promise ridiculously high returns with little to no risk. Remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And if someone claims to have insider information on the next big stock, they're probably just trying to sell you a bridge in the metaverse. Alright, so you've learned how to spot a scam. Good for you, you're basically a scam-sniffing bloodhound now. But here's the thing, your Nana, bless her heart, she probably thinks a Nigerian prince needs her help to move his gold bullion. And your Uncle Bob? He'd wire his life savings to a long-lost relative if they promised him a timeshare on the moon. We need to arm our loved ones with the knowledge to fight back against these digital con artists. Think of it like this. If everyone knows how to spot a scam, it's like taking away the scammer's favorite fishing rod. They're left there, lure dangling in the water, wondering why all the fish suddenly grew a third eye and a healthy distrust of anything shiny. So, how do we build this army of scam-fighting grandmas and skeptical uncles? It's simple. Talk to them, share what you've learned, forward them this video, heck, print out a transcript and slip it under their door with a plate of cookies. Whatever it takes. Because knowledge, my friends, is the best defense. Okay, so you've dodged the scam. Congratulations, you magnificent bastard. You've avoided becoming another statistic, another cautionary tale whispered in hushed tones at family gatherings. But here's the thing, those scammers are still out there, probably right now, crafting new and more elaborate ways to separate innocent people from their hard-earned cash. They're like digital cockroaches scurrying around in the dark corners of the internet, and frankly, it's just rude. But here's the good news. You have the power to fight back. You can report these scheming scoundrels to the authorities, the FTC, the FBI, your local police department, heck, tell your mailman for all I care. The point is, don't let them get away with it. Reporting a scam isn't just about getting your money back, although that's always a nice bonus. It's about sending a message that we're not going to stand for their shady tactics, that we're onto their little game, and that we're not afraid to call them out on their, let's be honest, pathetic attempts at deception. Well folks, that's it. You've reached the end of this scam-busting extravaganza. You've learned about the dangers lurking in the digital shadows, the red flags to watch out for, and the steps you can take to protect yourself and your loved ones. You're basically a walking, talking, scam-detecting superhero now. Go forth and fight the good fight. But seriously folks, staying safe online and offline requires constant vigilance. The world of scams is constantly evolving, so it's important to stay informed, be cautious, and never be afraid to question anything that seems too good to be true. And hey, if you ever have any doubts, just remember what you learned here today. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more tips on staying safe and informed. See you next time.